we stand, or perhaps we could say we sit, on the threshold of Shavuos, right before Shavuos. This year Shavuos is Erev Shabbos, and the Bali Musar, the Kadmonim, tell us that the avoda of Erev Shavuos and the avoda of the Sfiras Omer, every day of Sfiras Omer, a person should take one of the Memches Kinyanim Atera, one of the 48 ways that Torah is acquired, and work on that midah. And the last day, you should work on all the midas. Now, I've been speaking a lot the past few weeks about Kinyanim Atera, and I quoted heavily the words of the Vilna Gaon here in Mishlei with the Gra. The Vilna Gaon in the last parak of Mishlei, parak Lamed Aleph, which is Eis Chayil, towards the end on the Pasuk Chavtes, Rabbas Banus Zachayil Vatalis Al Kulana, says the Gra, Rabbas Banus Zachayil, Chayil is Gematria 48, right? 48, and those are the 48 Kinyanim, right? Lo kol adam zoich lekulam. Not every person can get all of them. Elazemad v'zemad. Each person get a lot. Everybody together, if you're part of a group where each person is working on the 48 kinyanim, right? So you got one, and the other person got one, the other person got one. All together you have 48. That's Rabos Banos. Atalis al kulana, says the Gon. Shuklalatar kulay. That's one special person, one special gadol, like the Gon himself, as it says here in footnote number 139, right? That Rav Chaim Volozhin is made. Kol Maisa V'Inyanav Nifloim. The Vilna Gaon was on an incredibly high level. Lafia Asher Nafshi Yodas Ve'Ein Ros. The person your eyes could see. Shekol Mem Ches Devarim Shator Niknas Behem. Kulam Niskaimu Rabbeinu. The Gra had all 48 of them. Now the question is for us little guys, for us little people who are not the Vilna Gaon, right? And we're not even Gedolim of our generation. Rav Elyashiv, Rav Bad Yosef, Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Rav Safrani. We're not even on that level. So what do? What can we do on this last day as we are at the threshold of Shavuos? And Hashem will be giving out on Shavuos the entire Torah, whoever wants it. All of these Svarim that you see over here. Shas, Shulchan Aruch, Tur, Beis Yosef. What else you have here? Rajba, Ritva. You can look up higher here, you see here. The Rajma and the Ritva, So, what can we do, us little people, that we should be able to get the whole Torah? So I'm going to tell you a chiddush I had, and I think it's a true chiddush. I think it'd be of a great assistance for us as we stand on the threshold of Shavuos to try to grasp the entire Torah. The Mishnah, of course, lists the Memches Kinyanim, and I've been saying over these past weeks to whoever is interested in listening, that to get all 48 is very tough, and we can have a rule, tfasta mrubal tfasta. Try to pick one kinyan which really, really speaks to you. So I said shmiyas ha'oizen, listening very carefully, right? What they call in English active listening. So if you take that one midah, right, and then you apply it to all of the 48, for example, shimash chachamim, yeah. If you're doing shimash by a chacham, the Gra says, listen, when you're standing in front of a chacham, don't talk, listen. Because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Hashem is telling us, listen more than you speak, especially when you're in front of an Adam Gadol. You should listen very, very carefully, because every single word, every single nuance, every single move of his fingers is Torah. Simcha, right? So much more simcha if you listen to what other people are saying, because you won't get into fights and arguments. Pilpul Talmidim. Listen very carefully what they're saying, and you'll understand much better, and you'll have get much more from them, and they'll get much more from you, right? And the list continues. Leiv Toiv, Emunas Chachamim, Kabbalas Yisurim, listening what Hashem is telling you, right? Makar Es Mekaymo, Sameach Bechelkai, Osus Yag L'Dvarav, all of the Oyeves Abriyos, right? You'll love people much more if you listen to what they have to say, because you'll appreciate them as people. Yeah? And it goes on. The Kotzker Rav says every single person has one central midah, right? The Bali Musar say it as well. You have one central midah, and all of your midas come out from that midah, right? They come out from that midah. So this is what I'm suggesting as we stand at the threshold of Shavuos, Tavshin Pei Beis. Pick one attribute of the 48 if you haven't already. If you were listening to the Shirim carefully, you've already picked one. You're working on it for the past 6 weeks and 6 days, right? But on this 49th day that's coming up, Osfiras Omer, this auspicious day of Erev Shavuos, right? Don't just take a nap so you could stay up on Shavuos night, yeah, and eat cheesecake and drink coffee and learn some Torah, of course, as well. Don't just do that, but take half an hour if you can. Grab that half an hour, right? And take, first of all, if you haven't done already, pick one midah that is your essential midah. Yeah, pick that one midah. If it's not your essential midah, but one midah which really talks to you, which you can really work on well during this period of Shavuos, 2, 3, 4 days, however we're going to count Erev Shavuos, Shabbos, Shavuos, 2 days, second day until Chutz La'aretz. Pick that one midah and go with it. Take it through all of them. Yeah, from Talmud, of course, Talmud. That's the beginning until the very last one, which is Omer Davar B'Shem Omro. We said that that's obviously not just saying Davar B'Shem Omro, but also includes maybe Gula Olam, doing your actions to bring a Gula to the world. And that's a very, very chashuv midah, right? Everything you should do to bring a Gula, right? But especially saying things over in other people's name. As we approach towards Shavuos, Hashem should give us the greatest siyata d'shmaya possible. We should all be zoiche, not to be at the bottom of the mountain, to be at the very top, right next to Moshe Rabbeinu, that little place on the side where Yeshua camped out, right? That was the closest possible place that a person other than Moshe Rabbeinu could get. We should all be there. And the way to get there is to want to be there, number one. But number two, you need the Kinyanim. The Gra is telling us, yeah, here, right in Mishlei, Perek Lamed Aleph, Pasuk Chafates. We learned it also in Perek Yud Beis, Pasuk Dalid, Pasuk Ches. You need those Kinyanim. You won't get it. It's like you go to a restaurant, yeah, and you want to order some food, some really good food. You say, but you're gonna have to pay at the end. If you don't have money, you don't have a credit card, you don't have cash, they're not going to give you the food. Yeah? So too, on Matan Torah, you need a credit card, right? You have to reach into your wallets and get that card. Pull out that card. I'm not going to show you the numbers because then I'm going to get in trouble. But here you go, that credit card. And the credit card is the 48 Kinyanim. The 48 Kinyanim that we have, right? That's the credit card. So let's try as much as possible on this last day to grab all 48 Kinyanim in our hands, yeah, and have them, right? So we have $1 million, yeah. Everybody knows about my check that I have for $1 million. If you don't know about it, I'll show it to you right now. Here's a check right here. We have for $1 million, $1 million check. Look at that. Yeah, $1 million. We all have $1 million check. It's much, much more. It's a billion or a trillion, depending on how you worked during these days. And that's Kinyanim Torah. Kinyanim Torah. It's our check to get the Torah. But you have to work on it. Take at least 5 minutes, preferably half an hour, the Shabbos. And now, this is obviously not Shabbos, you're not listening to this show on Shabbos. First thing you have to do is think of the one midah, which really puts you in touch with all of them. And then try to think how that one midah touches every single midah. And if you do that, Hashem is going to give you a shefa of siyata d'shmaya. It's going to rain down on you like the most rainy day you've ever experienced in your life. We should have the greatest siyata d'shmaya to achieve this, to think of the midah that encapsulates our midahs, and then to apply it to all the other midahs. Everybody should have a good, gebenched, freilich, yantif, full of simcha and siyata d'shmaya. Amen.